Hi, I'm Chris Slogar. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you can find me online at buckeyeinklings.com. There are more ideas there, as well as a link to the online store, so if you see any products in these videos that you would like to have, certainly you can find them there in the store. So I have today this cute little note card tote. It's an idea I got from Rachel Tessman, who made it as a swap for the Stampin' Up! Cruise. And I've been making it all summer, and we made it in Club. I've updated it to a Christmas design. Let me show you first. This is the one I made in Club to give you a different idea, and I promised those ladies to make a video of this because, as you'll see, it's kind of hard to describe in words and pictures how to create this opening for the note cards. So on the inside here I just have a handful of note cards. In this case I just made it from the same pattern as the tote, and in this case I have a stamped note card on the inside. And let's move to this one. This is made with products from our holiday catalog. The designer series paper is called Presents in Pine Cones, and it coordinates with, there's a suite of products there that includes the stamp set Christmas Pines, and I've used stamps from that set for the note cards. Just kept them very simple. There is also a coordinating cherry cobbler taffeta ribbon. It comes actually in cherry cobbler and emerald envy to match the designer paper. And there are also thinlits, which I haven't used here, the Pretty Pines thinlits, which are actually fabulous too. You could add some decoration to the front with them, or make your note cards a little more involved. But anyway, let me just show you this. This is quite simple. So I like note cards for a gift. These are pre-cut and scored Whisper White note cards. They come in a pack of 20 with envelopes, so that makes it really easy. You don't have to prepare anything to make these. Alright, I'm going to set those aside. I will stamp one note card later and show you how I made those, but in the meantime, let us concentrate on this tote. It starts from a piece of designer series paper that measures 7.5 inches by 12 inches. Okay, so I have that cut already, and I'm going to show you how to score and fold that to create that note card holder. Just bring in my scoring board, and as you can see, 7.5 and then 12 inches here. We're going to score at 1 7/8 and 5 5/8. Okay, so this distance from here to the end is also 1 7/8. Then we're going to turn it, and we're going to score 5 5/8 from each end. So I'll just flip that around instead of doing the math and do 5 5/8 from each end. Okay, so there we have the scores that we need, and I'm going to fold the long scores first and go ahead and burnish them. It'll be helpful to have nice crisp creases on this project. And I'm going to force, yeah, that does meet pretty well. I'm going to force those to come together pretty exactly. And you'll see why when we add the flap. Okay, and then we have those two scores in the middle as well that we can press out. And I'm also going to open this up and burnish both ways here. Okay, that is everything we need in terms of scoring. And what I'm going to do now, there are two scores here that we folded on, and I am going to take each one to create the pocket and score it towards, if I'm taking this one here, I'm going to score it or fold it that way, and force that edge, which we've already burnished, to meet up with this edge. And I'm also going to try to force, I'm putting my fingernail in there so that I can get a nice crisp corner as I pull that over. And you can see now I'm pulling that edge to meet up with this edge. Okay, I'm going to hold that, and then I'm going to get in here with my bone folder and burnish along that diagonal that wants to be formed here. Okay, can you see that? I'm going to do that 4 times now. So for each of these folds, which we created in that first step of folding, we're pulling the edge that's created over to match up with this edge along the side of what will be the note card holder. Again, I'm pushing my fingernail in there to kind of force that corner to be nice and crisp. And I'm lining those edges up exactly. And then I'm getting inside, and I'll try to do it this way so you can see, with my bone folder to make that fold. And you can see already now that we've kind of got a pocket going on that side. So we need to do the same thing on the other side. Again, one side, take each side up to meet the side of the tote, okay, and it kind of gets easier to see as you do them all. One more to go. Again, forcing that to kind of be a point, a sharp corner, and then pulling the side. Let's see. Turn it this way so you can see it better. That edge to meet the side neatly. And then I'm going to get in there with my bone folder and force that fold. Okay, so that creates this pocket which we want for the note cards. Alright, so let me create the flap piece now for this folder, and then we'll put it together. The flap piece is going to be a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock. It is 3 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And we'll put that 4 3/4 inch side up along the edge of the scoring tool, and we're going to score 2 inches in from each edge. So that makes it at 2 inches and 2 3/4 inches. Okay, now I like that flap embossed, and we have this wonderful embossing folder from the annual catalog with the holly leaves. Not sure what it's called, probably holly leaves, but I'll put it in the carousel so you can check it out. Alright, so I just want to emboss one flap, so I'm going to put my folder in only part way on this flap, just to emboss one side of the flap, and I'll take it through the Big Shot. Okay, see that? So we have that beautiful embossed holly pattern on one side of the flap. Alright, so we have those score lines. Remember, we scored at 2 and 2 3/4, so that makes the top of the pouch. And I'm going to grab my snips, and this dimension doesn't matter. We're just cutting away on the side that's not embossed, part of the flap. Just a little, we'll take a wedge out of it, and you'll see this will make it easier when we go to assemble the tote. Okay, so now if you have a pattern that is directional, and I would say this one is, all the pine cones point one direction, and I'm going to choose where they're pointing down to be the front of the tote. So I'm going to tuck this flap into the back side, and you'll see this is going to come together like this. So to do that now, I'm going to put adhesive. You can use sticky strip, or I like the Tombow glue. It gives you a little time to slip your piece into place if you don't get it quite right the first time. With sticky strip, that's always tough. And you're going to put this into that back flap and make sure that the fold is above the designer paper, so that you'll be able to fold this over and create your tote. Alright, and then what we're going to do is open this all up, and now with these diagonal lines it's going to be hard to see the diagonal folds, but you'll add adhesive, and again, sticky strip or liquid glue. Above, here's my score line along this red diagonal. We're only going to add adhesive above that and over. And on all of 4 sides, we're going to find that diagonal and just add adhesive beyond that point. Okay, same thing here. Okay, so we have adhesive on all 4 of these flaps, and we can fold them in now, and you'll see the adhesive only went to here, and that's good because we want that opening to be able to open to hold note cards. Okay, put that all down, and you'll see that opening will form. This is all adhered nicely, and the opening forms to hold the note cards. Okay, now we have the front of the flap to decorate, and all I did here was, this is pretty simple, I took a 15-inch length of this mini striped ribbon in mint, and I put that around the flap. And I just tied a knot here. Now I do almost all of my tying with tweezers to make my life easier. So I'm going to play with this just a little. If you have these pointy kind of tweezers, then you can adjust your knots until you're happy with them. Also going to take a little length of linen thread here and tuck it right through my knot. And attach one of these mini pine cones from the holiday catalog. So cute. There we go. Alright, I'm going to just knot this to hold that in place. And trim off the excess and adjust that knot again until I'm happy, and then trim the ends of the ribbon. Okay, and I'm also going to tuck a glue dot under there to just hold that in place where we'd like that to stay. Okay, so there we have the front flap decorated. You could add in, that pine set has finlets with really fabulous greenery that you could also add in here. We won't do that for now, but what I will do now to make my closure, I have these Velcro dots. They're just thin fasteners that make a nice closure for this. So I'm going to put a fuzzy side to the sticky side here. And I like the fuzzy side to be catching over here, so I'm just going to put that Velcro. Now I have the sides that are supposed to fasten together, and they're adhesive on the opposite side, so this is ready to stick to my project. So I'm going to line this up carefully and then press that together. I'll pull the Velcro apart and then give each of those sides a really hard press so that they will stay. Okay, so oops, there, that's not quite straight. Okay, so there's the case. And I am going to show you one note card. I just made a very simple design. I figure if you're making these for gifts, very helpful to have something easy that you could make many of. So, okay, I'm so sorry about that break. We had the tote completely assembled, and then my video cut out as I was going to show you how to make one of these note cards. And I came up with a pretty simple design because I think if you're making sets, it's nice to have something that you can make many of. And note cards are just simple anyway. So what I've got here is our pre-cut and scored Whisper White note card, and I am going to put a post-it along the score line so that when I stamp this image, it won't continue on to the back of the card. So this Christmas Pine set has two different greenery stamps. One is a bit thicker, and I'm doing that one in mint macaron, and I'm just going to place that on my note card. And while I've got the mint open, there's also this fun little background stamp I'm going to just tap in over here. Alright, and then we have a thinner greenery stamp that aligns with the other, and I'm just going to do this very carefully as I lower the stamp, make sure I'm lined up with the mint that I stamped earlier. A little off, but not bad. I usually have to get my head right over it, but I didn't want to block the video. Okay, so there's that. And then what I did is take a little length of this cherry cobbler ribbon, and I have sticky strip that I'm going to tack down here. And trim up that end. And put that in place. It's actually a little bit long. Okay, so that is my background for this circle. The greeting says, "May the simple joys of Christmas of the season be yours." May the simple joys of the season be yours. So I'm going to stamp that on a scrap piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to stamp the little arch of greenery below and above. And I love it that this fits a punch, because again, if I'm making a lot of these, this is very easy to punch out. That is, if you can get to it. So just center that in there, punch it out, and I have of dimensionals left here. I'm just going to put one on either side of the ribbon. I think it's easier to stick to the cardstock than the ribbon. And lay this in place the way I like it. And then I have also added rhinestones, which I seem to have misplaced. Oh, here's a strip of them. I've cut apart on this strip the lengths of rhinestone, so I'll just grab a couple of those. As you can see, my strings are already cut apart, so they're easy to grab. Okay, so there you have a note card, and you can see how quickly that one goes together. I'm just going to fold that over and burnish it and add that to my set. So again, here's the finished project. We've got the folder, and we're just going to stack up. I have 4 of these note cards and 4 envelopes, and the folder has to be pretty well closed to stick the cards in. And just line up the front flap, and there you have it. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy this. You can make it with any of the papers that you have. Maybe that'll inspire you to use up some of the papers you already have, but great for so many themes and thank yous and Christmas notes, whatever you have to go with your paper. Okay, have a great day. Bye.